Hello children, I'm glad you could join me again today for another preschool Bible story time. And today we're going to be hearing about someone who was a very, very good leader. I think you have played follow the leader sometimes, haven't you? You know, when you follow someone around a room and you have to do exactly what they say or exactly what they do. They're kind of in charge, aren't they? Well, I'd like you to have a look at a video of my backyard because someone or something out there is playing Follow the Leader. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I think that Mother Duck and her many ducklings were having a great time doing Follow the Leader in our backyard pool. And I think, children, you have leaders in your life, haven't you? Your parents are leaders in a sense, aren't they? In a nice way. They help to look after you and care for you and keep you safe. And there are other people, aren't there, who are leaders as well, people like your grandparents, your pastor or your teachers, maybe your doctor or dentist, perhaps policemen and firemen or people who help you cross the road. All these people are there to help look after you and keep you safe. Well, we're going to hear about a man who was a leader, and his name was Joseph. And Joseph loved God, and that is really why he was such a good leader. And he tried to live his life in such a way that it would please God. Now, I'm sure you remember last week you heard about Jacob with Esau, and you learned about Jacob and how he had a big family. He had 12 sons. Well, Joseph was the 11th son. But at the time of our story today, Joseph isn't living with his father and his brothers. He's living in a far-off land called Egypt. And in that country of Egypt is a king, and everyone called him Pharaoh. And in our story today, Pharaoh was here and he was asleep at night. And as he slept, he had a dream. He dreamt about 7 very healthy cows, followed by 7 very hungry and unhealthy cows. And then he woke up and he thought, I wonder what that was all about. And then he had another dream. He dreamt about 7 heads of grain, maybe some wheat, which were really healthy and juicy, followed by 7 very unhealthy heads of grain. And he woke up again and he thought, there has to be a message in this. What does it all mean? And you know, no one could really explain it to him. And then suddenly someone said, I know a man and his name is Joseph. He will be able to explain the dream to you. So Joseph was brought in to see Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, so Joseph, can you explain my dream to me? And Joseph said, well, it won't be me who explains the dream to you, Pharaoh. You see, Pharaoh, God has given you that dream, and God will give us the understanding of it. And God helped Joseph understand the dream. And this is what Joseph said. Joseph said, what the dream means is that there's going to be 7, can you put your 7 fingers up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 good years. And during that time, lots of crops will grow in Egypt. The cows will be well fed, and we, the people, will be well fed. And after those 7 good years, there's going to be another 7 years. Can you put your fingers up again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But these are going to be 7 bad years, and the crops won't grow very well. And the cows will be hungry, and the people will start to be hungry too. That is the meaning of the dream. And then Joseph said to Pharaoh, so it would be a good idea to find a leader, someone who can help the people store food during the 7 good years so that they have enough to feed themselves during the 7 bad years. And Pharaoh looked at Joseph and he said, here's Pharaoh looking at Joseph, and he said, "You are a wise man, Joseph. I think you will be a good leader to care for our people." And he put this special ring on Joseph's hand. This was a ring for Joseph to stamp special papers with. And he gave Joseph some new clothes. And then he gave Joseph a chariot. A chariot is something pulled by horses, and it has wheels. And that meant that Joseph was a very important person. And when Joseph rode around the countryside, people saw the ring and the chariot and the special clothes, and they knew that he was the special person chosen by Pharaoh to be their leader and to care for them. And during those 7 good years, Joseph rode around the countryside in his chariot, and he got all the people to start to build these big buildings where they were going to store the spare food and the spare grain during those good years. So here we can see a picture of this. Here the people are filling up those buildings with all the spare grain that they had during the 7 good years. And just as God said, the 7 good years gave way to the 7 bad years. And during the 7 bad years, the people started to get hungry. And so they came to Joseph, and Joseph opened up those buildings. And here we are, we've got people come in with can you see their empty bags down here? And they come and they get their empty bags filled up, and they pay for this grain that they get. But then they go off to feed their families. They aren't hungry because there's enough food for everyone during the 7 bad years. And that was because Joseph was such a good leader. God helped him to be such a good leader, and he was able to plan well and to care for all these people during those 7 bad years. And do you know what, boys and girls? God has given us leaders, as we said, and we mentioned some of those. But in our country at the moment, we have leaders who try to help us and care for us. And we actually need to pray for those leaders and that they will make good decisions at this time. And I hope that that's something you do, and that you actually thank God for all the leaders that he's given you who care for you in your lives. And so for next time, boys and girls, I will say goodbye, and I hope you have a very good week. Goodbye for now.